Mistakes are common in cartoon shows, and even the world's best cartoon show, Bluey, isn't safe from it. And in today's video, we're going to look at some of these mistakes. In the episode Hotel, Bluey and Bingo are playing a fun game. While they are playing the game, a funny error happens. When Bluey is pushing Bingo in bed, we can see something weird happening with Bingo. If we look at Bingo closely, then we can see that she has brownish fur on her back. When Bluey is pushing Bingo in bed at that moment, the fur on Bingo's back has disappeared. Normally her fur should be like this, but in this scene, her fur looks completely weird. In the episode Magic Xylophone, the Healer's family are having fun playing a fun game with their hands. We see the family playing with hand-drawn characters. Notice that the characters in Bluey and Bingo's hand are drawn with smiles, meaning their mouths are turned upwards, while Chili has a downward-facing mouth. But as the game progresses, we see that at a certain moment when Bandit also joins in the fun, Bluey's hand-drawn character suddenly has an inverted smile. She might have erased the previous smile and drawn a new one. But that scene wasn't shown to us. So, this could just be a tiny mistake. Bluey's animators seem to have a hard time with the character's fur. And once again their victim is none other than our beloved Bandit. Normally the upper part of Bandit's head is all black, but in the episode Dance Mode, we can see that in one of the scenes, Bandit's black fur on his head is split into two parts. In the episode Zoo, we found one of the hardest to notice mistakes. But before we look at this mistake, we have to take a look at Chili. Chili's face has a light shade on the left side, with a darker brown spot on her right side. And in between her eyes, there's a very light beige spot, right? But in the episode when Chili realizes that Bingo has entered the imaginary monkey cage, we see that she gets so desperate that even the spots on her head change color. You can see that the lighter spot between her eyes disappears, and in its place is the dominant color of Chili's fur, which is kind of orange-ish. This was a small error, but we noticed it. Moving on in the episode The Beach, where we see the Healer family enjoying their day on the beach. Everyone is enjoying themselves and playing on the beach, and even Bandit is building a sandcastle, while Bingo is burying Bluey in the sand and making a mermaid tail on her legs. It's at this moment that a small animation flaw occurs when Bluey leans backward. We have a top-down view of the two Healer girls, and you can notice that their eyebrows are blue. The problem is that in this episode, Bluey had her eyebrows painted yellow, probably because of the sunscreen that Chili applied to the girls. Some errors are so quick that we can barely see them properly, like this next one we noticed in one of the episodes. Bandit is playing in bed with Bingo, and during that scene, something very weird can be seen. Or should I say it cannot be seen, because if you look at Bandit while he was spinning on the bed, his tail simply disappears. Can you imagine Bandit without a tail walking around the house? It would look so funny. Another animation error we found was in the episode Spy Game. In this episode, Bluey and her friends come together for a fun barbecue at the park. Bluey and Mackenzie are playing spies, trying to gather hair samples to make a special potion. But things get all mixed up, causing a lot of confusion. Suddenly, there's a big fire, and their dinner plans go all wonky. Now, not only is the story full of twists and turns, but even the animation in the episode is a bit confusing. When Bingo and Bandit are supposed to be in the bathroom together, Bandit waiting for Bingo to finish her toilet, something funny happens. Bandit is spotted outside, cooking sausages on the barbecue instead. How did he get there so fast? And then, surprise! Bandit magically appears inside the bathroom with Bingo, helping with the hand washing. Can he teleport now? But this is not the only animation error in the episode. Back in the party, as Bluey and Mackenzie rush to collect more hair for their potion, watch out for a sneaky animation detail. Right after they leave, you can catch Honey and Chloe in a happy pose. But with a quick blink, they suddenly go into a peekaboo stance with no smooth transition. It's a small detail that's easy to miss while watching, but if you pause the video and take a closer look, you'll definitely notice it. Now, this next mistake is related to the famous Bluey Easter egg, the long dog. In the episode Cafe, where Bluey is playing with her new friend, while the two are playing by pretending to be cafe owners, we see Bandit and his friend sitting separately on park benches. If we look closely, we see the famous long dog right below Bandit's bench, behind one of the bench's legs. The mistake is that in the very next scene, when we see everything from a different angle, we see the same Bandit on the same bench, with the back leg of the bench also visible, but no sign of the long dog. It disappeared. It seems like the long dog Easter egg has some magical powers. In our previous video, we mentioned a mistake in the episode Takeaway, and now let's go back to that episode again. When Bandit goes into the restaurant to check if the food is almost ready, the girls keep playing outside as if they're in their own restaurant. The mistake is that at a certain point, Bingo eats the spicy food that was left there by Bandit, and when Bandit returns outside, Bingo spits the burning food from her mouth onto poor Bandit's face. Note that when she does this, Bandit turns his face to the side, and we can see that both sides of his face get dirty. Then he wipes his face with his arm, and now his face is completely clean. But how is that possible, when between the two sides of his face, there's a snout preventing him from wiping both sides of his head? If you think about it, you'll realize it really doesn't make sense. In our previous video, we mentioned the animation error in the episode Takeaway, where Bluey's face was looking weird. But this time, we found another animation error in the same episode. This time, it's Bandit who's the victim. As we know, Bandit's belly has yellow fur on it. But here for a split second, the yellow fur on his belly completely disappears. Another error also happened in the same episode. When Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo are waiting outside the restaurant, we can see the restaurant lady through the glass window. But there's an error there. Did you notice it? Through the glass window, it seems like the restaurant lady has a white face. But when she comes out with the food, her face is not white and has a similar color to her ear. Pretty weird, isn't it? In the episode Butterflies, Bluey, Bingo, and Judo are playing a fun game. And after a small issue that happens in the episode, especially between Judo and Bingo, the three make up and resume playing. The mistake is that now the three pups want to be humans, and none of them wants to pretend to be the butterfly, so they wonder who they could hunt. Right at the moment when they hear poor Bandit humming while finishing taking down the laundry, if you pause exactly when Bluey's dad is being totally obliterated by the group of puppies, you'll notice that the character becomes completely twisted and unrecognizable. For instance, notice that his arm goes directly to his cheek, which is very weird. Poor Bandit. He seems to be the victim of everyone, even the animators of the show. In Christmas Swim episode, each member of the Healer family receives a present, and everyone is opening their gift normally. However, when it's Muffin's turn to open her present, something weird happens. Notice that the package is properly wrapped as it should be, with normal gift wrap folds. But as Muffin tears the paper around the gift, if you look at the side of the box, you'll see the wrapping folds simply vanish from one moment to the next for no reason. This is one of those blink and you miss moments, but we managed to find it. So what do you think? Have you noticed any other mistakes that you would like to share with us? If you have, then let us know in the comments, and as always, we'll see you all in the next video.